Hey everybody, welcome out to the garage today. We are going to be having a 3,000 point fight between the Saurians and the Mummified Undead. Up first, we're going to take a look at the Saurian army. In the front, we have 10 geckos and a gecko champion armored javelins with the hit and run ability. We have 10 Saurian guardians being led by a frog priest. And we have a Spinosaurus, a Saurian vet on Tyrannosaur, Ankylosaurus, 20 Saurian warriors led by a Saurian vet, 10 more Saurian warriors, don't mind them, they got a little lost on the way to the future. And then we're going to use that big Tyrannosaur you've seen in the background of my paint videos forever as our Dread Titan. He's going to be a Gator Titan for today. It's going to be a whole lot of fun seeing how this works out. So let's look at the mummies. Then taking them on today, we have the Mummified Undead. 20 warriors led by a Royal Champion with the Royal Guard ability. One skeleton leader with the Royal Guard with the ability to give them all furious. The God Statue. A Sphinx character, 2 giant scorpions, three snake cavalry, 3 guardian statues, and in the back is the Desert Titan with his surprise attack ability. He'll be clawing his way out of the desert sands. And also, because we are going to move our basic games up to 2,000 points at least, we are going to take this 4x4 table. We're going to say goodbye. And we're going to say hello to 6x4 goodness. Got to rethink some things here for camera-wise. I got to zoom all the way back to get the whole table on the camera. And, oh, you guys get to see where I store all of my armies over there. Don't worry. In springtime, when it's, higher than 20 degrees in here, I'm going to redo all of this. So that'll be a video I'd like to show you guys. But for now, this is what we got. Let's see, we got objective 1, 6, 3, 4, 5, and 2. So we're going to be using the mission cards today. Let's go ahead and get to it. So the armies have deployed from the left flank to the right flank. The Saurians, we have the Frog Mage and the Guardians. The Ankylosaur, 10 Saurian warriors. 10 geckos with their gecko champion. The Spinosaurus, the Dread Titan, the Saurian vet on a Tyrannosaur, and 20 Saurian warriors. From left to right of the Mummified Undead, we have the stakes all the way out on the flank. Then we have the Sphinx character, the 10 Royal Guard and their character leading them, 3 Guardians, 20 warriors with their royal leader, and the God Statue. The Mummified Undead look to be fighting at a distinct disadvantage right now, just in numbers, but they do have their Titan and 2 of the Great Scorpions in ambush. So when they pop out, they're going to need to do some work. I think the section of the battle that's going to have the most interesting swings is going to be over here in the town, where it looks like both armies are deploying a whole lot of forces in there. It's gonna get bloody in that part. So this mission, we're gonna use the mission cards. Once again, the way we're gonna do it is each team gets 5 cards. You're only able to score 1 card per turn, and you are able to discard 1 card at the end of every turn. And at the beginning of your turn, you draw enough cards to get up to 5 of them in your stack. So here we have 2 representatives of each of the armies. We're gonna go and start with Seize Objective 5, Seize Objective 2, Executioner, Outflank, Area Dominance, Seize 4, Volley Fire, Seize 3, Seize 1, and Slay the King. So that's going to be what the cards are going to be at the start of turn 1. See who goes first. A 3 and a 2. Looks like the Lizard Boys are going to take the first turn. The bellowing roar. The dread titan charges right up the middle of the field, eager to rip any meat remaining off the bones of the undead. God statue casts protection on itself and the unit of warriors. It then marches forward and clogs the breach, daring the Saurians to come at him. The Saurian unit on the right flank climb over the rocks, eager to get to the enemy and sitting on objective number 6. The Guardian statues move forward in the center, staying obscured by the hills and buildings. The Saurian veteran on Tyrannosaur moves forward to support the Saurian unit. The Sphinx moves into the shadow of the overhang, blocking the passage and ready to charge into anything that passes it next turn. The Ankylosaurus moves through the gap in the walls, and then its javelin crew hurl their poison spears at the god statue. Even with the increased defense, a roll of a 1 still fails the armor save. The god statue takes 1 wound. The Royal Guard move to block off the pass to stop the Dread Saurian in its tracks. The Spinosaurus runs forward and jumps upon the hill, looking down at the Guardian statues. Gecko Priest on its back then casts Energy Reservoir, giving the Dread Titan and the geckos extra movement. 20 skeleton warriors move up behind the god statue. The unit of geckos run forward up the hill. The ones that can see throw their javelins at the Guardian statues. The Guardian statues end up taking 2 wounds. Their hit and run ability, the geckos move to their left towards the town. On the far flank, the Snake Riders stop on top of objective number 2. The Guardians and Frog Mage move as fast as they can into the town, and the Frog Mage successfully casts Piranha Swarms on the god statue and the skeleton warriors. Piranhas gnawing away take 2 wounds off of the god statue and take out 6 of the skeleton warriors. In fighting the traffic jam, the Saurian warriors, the last activation, move around the other side of the wall to stand next to the Ankylosaur in the middle of the town. Time for points on turn 1. These are the Saurians' objectives. They are going to score 2 points from area dominance, and then they are going to discard volley fire because just with the firepower they brought, it's probably not going to happen. So then they will draw Seize 5 and Spellbreaker. For the Mummified Undead, they are going to score Seize 2 for 1 victory point, and they're going to discard Seize 3 because that's right in the middle of the enemy's deployment zone. Their new cards are going to be Hold 1 and Seize 6. At the beginning of turn 2, the ambushers for the Mummified Undead show up. 1 Scorpion ending up in an alleyway in the town. Another Scorpion standing in front of the Dread Titan, hopefully to be a speed bump for it. And on the Saurian's right flank, using its surprise attack rule, the Mummified Undead Titan rips itself out of the ground, showering the enemy with rocks and swiping its giant claws. The Saurian warrior unit loses 7 in the explosion. First activation of turn 2, the god statue casts Smiting, passing it easily, giving the Scorpion and the unit of warriors with it +2 to hit. It then picks up its great axe and charges into the Frog Mage and the Guardian unit. The god statue is only able to take out 3 of the Guardians. Guardians and Frog Mage attack back, able to do 3 wounds onto the god statue, but because the god statue's fear ability is higher than that of the Frog Mage, the Guardian statue wins combat. But with the Frog Mage leading them, the Guardians are definitely not failing a morale test. Saurian warriors who were jumped down by the Mummified Titan decide their best course of action is to charge, even with their Predator rule causing a ridiculous amount of hits. The Mummified Titan only loses 2 wounds, and now it's his turn to strike back. With the Mummified Titan's 18 total attacks, it's able to cause 17 wounds, completely detonating the Saurian warrior squad. Every last member killed. It then consolidates onto objective number 5. Seeing the best target it could imagine, the Dread Titan charges over the hill and tries to sink its teeth into the Mummified Titan. It's able to rip 15 wounds off of the Mummified Titan. The Mummified Titan fights back, but in its fatigued state, it is only able to put 2 wounds onto the Dread Titan. Then it passes its morale test. Our kaiju fight is going to continue. The skeleton warriors in the town charge into the Guardians and the Frog Mage unit. With all the buffing and their many, many hit dice, they were able to cut down all of the Guardians, leaving the Frog Mage by himself. The Frog Mage then attacks back, and he is able to kill off one of the skeletons. Then the Frog Mage passes his morale test. The Gecko unit move up onto the temple blocks and shower the skeleton warrior unit with javelins. They must be motivated to save their Frog Mage because they take out 6 with the shower of poisonous sticks. Then hit and run across the temple steps, inching closer to objective number 6. The skeleton warriors then fail their morale test, and 4 more crumble into dust. Guardian statues charge uphill into the Spinosaurus. Their heavy great weapons are able to take 5 wounds off of the Spino. Spinosaurus then attacks back, doing 3 wounds to the Guardian statues, and with its fear of 2, combat ends up tied. The Saurian on the Tyrannosaur, feeling the Titan come up, turning and seeing its whole squad of warriors gone, charges into the Mummified Titan. The Veteran and the Tyrannosaur combined do a total of 7 wounds, which is just enough to take out the Mummified Titan, and a dust cloud envelops the area as it turns to ash. The Sphinx that was lying in wait charges into the rear of the Tyrannosaur. The Sphinx does 7 wounds, and the Tyrannosaur turns to attack back. The Tyrannosaur is unable to score any wounds on the Sphinx, fails its morale test, but with its fearless rule, it decides it's not going anywhere. The Spinosaur runs across the top of the ridge overlooking the Scorpion and the Royal Guard, and chooses to spit at the Royal Guard with its poisoned loogies. The Royal Guard all pass their armor save, wondering why their armor is sticky. The Gecko Priest attempts to cast Serpent Egg on the Scorpion, but fails. Giant Scorpion in the middle of the board moves forward towards objective number 3. The Ankylosaurus, now seeing a hole, charges into the God statue. The Ankylosaurus swings away, but the God statue's armor is able to block all the damage coming in. God statue attacks back and is able to put 2 wounds onto the Ankylosaur, but the Ankylosaur is able to pass its morale test. The last Scorpion on the board charges into the Frog Mage, and it's able to score 3 wounds on the fat creature. Frog Mage attacks back, but is very fatigued after all the fighting it's done today, and is unable to even score a hit on the Scorpion. Saurian warriors then come up and over the top and attack what is left of the skeleton warrior unit. With their number of attacks, they're able to cut down the last of the Skelly boys and then consolidate towards objective number 6. Leaving objective 2, the Great Snakes charge into the Tyrannosaur. Between the snake's impact, lances, and poison attacks, they're able to put 5 more wounds on the Tyrannosaur. The Tyrannosaur wheels around and attacks the snakes, only able to do 1 wound. He then passes his morale test. Last activation for the Saurians this turn, the Frog Mage backs out of combat and casts Piranha Swarm on the Scorpion and the God statue. Scorpion and the statue both suffer 2 wounds. The God statue needs to make a morale test, and it is passed. Royal Guard, with no ability to go up and get the Spinosaur and no reason to move, decide to hold on objective number 4. So at the end of turn number 2, let's see what we got for the Saurians. We are going to score Executioner because they did destroy 1 hero unit with that unit of Skeleton Warrior. They are then going to discard one of their Seize Objective 5s because they have 2 of them. What's the point? And their new mission cards are going to be Hold number 6 and Terrify. For the Undead, they're going to score Seize number 4. And they are going to discard Hold 1. Their new missions will be Charge and Hold 5. First activation of turn 3, the Tyrannosaur bites down into the snake unit. They get to see that a Tyrannosaur that is not fatigued is able to rip through all 3 of the snakes. God statue activates, turns to look at the Saurian warrior unit, and casts Vengeance. Fire explosion kills 6 of the Saurian warriors. It then charges into the frog mage.
No. Wait. Wait.
It brings down its massive two-handed axe and pops the fat belly of the frog. The ankylosaur activates next and charges into the god statue. It brings its massive hammer tail around and connects squarely with the chest of the god statue. The statue then explodes in a magical eruption. The Sphinx charges into the Tyrannosaur. The Sphinx attacking the Tyrannosaur is able to take it down to 1 wound remaining. The Tyrannosaur swings back, but is unable to cause any damage to the Sphinx. The Tyrannosaur passes its morale test, and they stand there staring at each other over top of objective number 5. The Spinosaurus, seeing no way to get down to the Royal Guard this turn, doubles back and charges into the Guardian unit. Priest on the back casts Jaguar Pounce successfully, ripping one of the Guardians off the hill. With the rest of the Spinosaurus' attacks, it's able to cause 2 wounds. The last Guardian statue attacks back, causing 1 wound to the Spinosaurus, but it lost combat and fails its morale test. With the undead rule, it fails its 1 roll and crumbles into dust. A giant scorpion sneaks up the backside of the Spinosaurus. With its claws, it's able to do 1 wound to the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus turns and is able to do 1 wound back to the scorpion, using its stomp attack. Because the fear ability of the Spinosaurus is higher than the scorpion, it wins combat, and the scorpion fails its morale test, and then proceeds to fail 4 out of 5 of its undead saves, leaving it with 1 wound remaining. The Dread Titan sees that the Royal Guard has moved within charge range. The Titan is able to rip through the Royal Guard squad, killing everything except for the squad leader. The leader then passes his morale test, knowing he has no chance of going up against this beast. The Scorpion over in the town attacks the Saurian squad on objective number 6. It's able to take out one of the Saurian warriors. When they attack back, they're unable to do any damage to the Scorpions. They fail their morale test, but do pass their fearless test. So everyone's sticking around. The geckos, looking at the Scorpion down at the bottom of the temple, throw their javelins and are able to pin-cushion the Scorpion, killing it immediately. Last activation of the turn for the undead. The skeleton leader takes 1 look at the Dread Titan and decides to take off running in the other direction. Last activation of the turn, the Saurian warriors decide to hold on the objective because they see no need to do anything else. So that was a bloody turn. Looking at the cards for the Saurians, they're going to score hold objective number 6 because they were holding it at the beginning and now at the end of the turn. They did do Terrify. They were only able to make 2 units fail their morale test, so they would only get 1 point for that. And they did do Spellbreaker, but it's only worth 1 victory point. And you can only choose 1 card per turn. So going for the 2 is, of course, what we're going to do. We are going to also discard Spellbreaker because the enemy has no more spellcasters on the board. Their new objectives for turn number 4 are On the March and seize objective 1. For the undead, the only thing they've been able to score this turn is charge, destroy 1 enemy unit in melee. And they are going to discard seize objective number 6. So their new cards this turn are seize number 3 and shifting strategy. Roll a d6 for number 6. First activation of the turn, the skeleton leader over there, he's just going to hold. He's chilling. He is going to be hiding under a rock because that big scary thing over there. The Tyrannosaur with the Saurian vet is going to attack the Sphinx for the first activation this turn for the Saurians. The Tyrannosaur is able to do 2 wounds to the Sphinx. The Sphinx's attack back. It is able to take the final wound off of the Tyrannosaur. Sphinx holds on objective number 5. Scorpion, being the last unit for the undead on the board, attacks the Spinosaurus. It is able to cause 2 wounds to the Spinosaurus, but then the Spinosaurus looks down at the lowly Scorpion with 1 wound and completely smashes it. The Saurians decide to hold because there is no more enemy close enough to really affect anything. So at the end of turn number 4, looks like the Saurians, we're going to go ahead and score on the march. Have no units from your army in your deployment zone because everybody has moved out for 1 point. And the undead, they're going to score Slay the King for 2 victory points. The undead in turn 1, they got 1 point. Turn 2, 1 point. Turn 3, 1 point. Turn 4, 2 points. They're sitting on a total of 5. And then the Saurians, turn 1, they got 2, 1, 2, and 1. They're sitting on a total of 6. So for the 3,000 point fight, winner goes to the Saurians. The Saurians take the big win. Remember, this was a member-requested video, so if you are a member, you can request a battle report, and I will build it and play it for your entertainment. Discord links down below. The campaign is going to fire off soon. I have a tentative date set for March the 10th. That'll be about 2 weeks from the day I'm recording this. So join the Discord to see all the rules that we got set up for playing 15mm Age of Fantasy at the divisional level. So that'll do it for us here in the garage today. Hope you all are having fun out there. Remember, don't take it too seriously. It's just a game, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.